What's up, folks? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's Kyle the Cougar Guy. What's up, Kyle? Can you hear me?
Hey guys. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for reaching out, and I'm glad that we're getting this time. So those of you who don't know Kyle, don't recognize him, you probably would recognize him backing away from a mountain lion. So this is Kyle the Cougar Guy, whose video of him uh, getting escorted away from babies by a mama mountain lion has gone super viral and has created a bunch of conversation, a lot of really good conversation about mountain lions, about what the right thing to do is. And we also learned a lot about mountain lion behavior there. And so, I made a video that Kyle saw, which is why he reached out to me, where I was trying to clear up some of the confusion that in the mislabeling that the media was doing. So we're just going to talk about that. How you doing today, Kyle?
Doing great. I'm
Awesome.
just enjoying all this time with everybody, talking to everybody, and hopefully the video is helpful to everybody as well.
So that happened like 3 days ago or something?
Yeah, this happened on Saturday night last week, the 10th.
So how many people in media has hit you up since then?
Oh, I've been in so far. I think my wife is just telling him up. I think I've been in 70 plus interviews so far.
Wow. So I can kind of relate to that because I had a dance video go viral in 2013, and I didn't know anything about social media, and then that blew up, and then all of a sudden I was trying to like make sense of it all. Were you a social media person before this happened?
Not super into it. I had maybe 1,000 followers on my Instagram, but now I'm
Huh.
up to like 25,000 plus.
Wow. Yeah, that was an exciting video. I mean, like I was watching that, and when I first saw it, and the mountain lion was like, I was like, goodness sakes, I ought to poop my pants. This must be a Depends commercial or something. Because I was, and my friend Warren Terrell, I told him I was going to talk to you, and he wanted to make sure I asked you, is it true? Do people in that kind of situations, do they want to poop their pants? Does that cross your mind?
It never passed my mind. My bladder was totally fine. I didn't have to pee or crap myself at all.
Now you know. See, there's been hundreds of comments about that. So now you guys know we can. Our curiosity has been satiated. I asked. So that was awesome. So do you go running there a lot?
Yeah, I go on. There's quite a few trails around my house that are like 15 minutes away, and I'm able to go there and just kind of do my little run, couple hours or so, and then go back home, and nothing usually happens, right?
Hey, it was a beautiful, beautiful day too.
Yes,
Um,
fantastic.
and you'll see I have your friend behind me. I hope that's not triggering. Let's see. Can you see it? Oh, it's not there anymore. Sorry, he changed it. Like we
You
used
got
to
you
have
got
your
the
mountain
trees.
lion there.
Yeah, you got the trees behind you right now.
Oh, okay. We changed the background. Okay. So that was a scary video. And, I have been in the woods all my adult life. I've seen mountain lions a couple times. I've fantasized a billion times about what I would do if I was in a situation that you were in. Because like every
Yeah,
outdoor person does. Because we all
exactly.
have our mountain lion stories. The ranger from the parks just came in and told me his mountain lion story. We all have them. And I always have this romantic vision that all of a sudden I'm gonna know some kung fu and I'm gonna like knock the mountain lion out from mid jump, and then I'm gonna be famous for being the mountain lion knocker outer or something, just like, especially when I was young. Not so much now, but when I was younger. But
Yeah.
did you ever think you were gonna encounter a mountain lion there? Did it cross your mind?
Not necessarily. I mean, we always kind of like think about these happening, but you never really think it's going to happen to you, right?
Yeah, right. But so when you saw those small cat-like creatures, you thought they were bobcats?
I really did. I took video like not too long ago of bobcats, actually last fall. So yeah, it was a year ago when I found some bobcats up there. Such a cool, they're so calm. And so like
Uh-huh.
when I first saw those, I was like, hey, look, more bobcats. I've seen those before.
You're all Bobcat Part 2, and then
Yeah, exactly.
awesome. Everybody likes to think that they know what they would do in that situation. And I feel like personally that I would have done the exact same thing that you did. It comes up over, I have to admit one thing, besides thinking that it was a commercial for Depends. I also thought that I was talking to you on the screen. I was like, throw a rock, throw a rock, throw a rock. So how come you didn't throw a rock sooner?
Well, because every time I bent down or made myself look smaller, that's when
Mm.
she would do her her pouncing, or what I've been told is bluff charging.
Yeah, that's what we call it, bluff charging. But you know what? That looked like for real charging.
Yeah,
like,
no, it was pretty intense.
Yeah, you don't know it's bluff charging until you survived it. So, and you know what? Just I know mountain lions really well. I've done a lot of wildlife surveys, and I've had some friends like Beth Pratt from National Wildlife Federation and Karina from the Cougar Conservancy. They have pretty good websites, and they've talked to me about it. And so I participate P22 days. So I have some mountain lion. I know something about mountain lions. And I knew right away that she wasn't stalking you, even though that's what the headlines were all saying.
Correct.
Because, the news is trying to make as much money as possible. It's like the more hype there is, the more likely people will watch. Like a movie. You don't watch a movie unless there's a terrible problem. And the worse the problem, the more likely you are to watch that movie. And so the news is doing the same thing. They're not here to educate us. They're here to like inform and entertain us kind of at the same time. So when I saw that, it kind of made me mad because I don't like mountain lions got enough enemies as it is. And they're really important predators. And I love these animals. And I could tell by the way that she was moving to the side, she was wanting you to see how big she was. And so this told me right away that she was escorting you around. She was trying to intimidate you, which was working really well. Yeah. And those bluff charges and stuff. And so that wasn't stalking behavior. But you didn't know that at the time. So were you, did you have time to think about what's going to happen to me? Or were you like, I'm going to get eaten? Or were you just like too in the moment?
Well, one of the things that did cross my head was like, no, she just wants me to get away from her babies. I mean, that's what any animal normally does when they have their kids and their babies next to them. They don't want like us next to their kids.
Yeah.
It's like when you climb a tree when you're a kid and you get close to a nest, that bird sits there and starts chirping like crazy. Yeah, it starts flying across your head, right? And so it's the same thing.
Huh.
So I never really came past my head that she wanted to eat me, because I feel like if she wanted to eat me, like I would have been eaten.
Yeah, she probably you wouldn't have seen her coming. She would have been truly stalking. And they're stealth hunters,
Exactly.
And in my video, I said that like animals don't want to get injured, so face-to-face fights aren't in their best interest. They want to get you from behind so that you don't damage them, because you got to be Olympic gold medalist to be a mountain lion. There's no injured mountain lion surviving very long. That's very, very rare. Only if maybe someone's feeding them. But to catch a deer or whatever, you have to be an Olympic champion. So that's another reason why I could tell she wasn't stalking you. I just want to ask you a couple questions that hopefully you haven't been asked a million times already. But has this changed the way that you see mountain lions? Like, what are your a lot of people would hate mountain lions after they experience what you experienced. Like, are you hating on them, or what's going on with you and mountain lions?
No, not at all. I think they're crazy. They're just awesome creatures. They're awesome animals. I don't think we really give them much credit or enough credit that we need to, because we always think of them as such a dangerous animal. Mm-hmm. When really, I mean, that's their home. That's their territory.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think we need to give them more support and kind of help them out as much as we can, because they are looked at kind of like frowned upon.
Yeah, like they're scary, and that it goes back to like, before we had guns and poison darts and arrows and stuff. Like our main predator were giant cats. So that's like that harkens back to our ancestry right there with cats. So it is super scary, and I'm glad that you're not mad at them. I feel like a lot of people like that would scar them for life. So are you going to go jogging out there again?
Oh, most definitely.
Awesome. Maybe you'll probably do something different though this time. Maybe take some loud noisemaker with you or something.
Either that or some bear spray. I've been looking kind of more for like the bear spray stuff. Mm-hmm. But I got to do a lot of research. And that's kind of maybe a question I had for you is, does bear spray harm the animals when you use that?
If you bear spray is actually weaker than human spray. So a lot of people have said, I'll use pepper spray. And I've said, use bear spray instead, because animals, their senses, their eyes and their nose are way more sensitive and efficient than ours are. So we don't need the full power of pepper spray. Bear spray does work. And hopefully they don't get close enough that you are like damaging them. But if they are getting close enough for you to damage them, that it was probably time to damage them. You know what I'm saying? Like if mountain lions like in your face on you, then by all means spray it in its eyes with pepper spray. You know, because if it comes down to a, you know, life or death situation, you got to do what you got to do. But if they're bluff charging and stuff like that, you could probably just spray in the air and they'd smell it and they would go away. And people watching this should double check that. And if you want to double check that, go to mountainlion.org. That's the URL for Mountain Lion Foundation, or cougarconservancy.org. And they are the experts and they can help you with the exact information. But I'm pretty sure that just the smell, the pepper spray, would be enough to deter them. I've done tons and tons of camping. In fact, I used to camp about a third of the year because I'd work remotely. And sometimes I would just spray bear spray around the camp, and that would keep, and that would keep animals out the whole entire 8 days we were there, because that smell is just really hurts their nose. So, and we only did that when we were in like areas where we knew there was some bears that weren't scared of people. But I'm happy to hear that you're going to go back and go jogging there, because that would have sucked if that would have scarred you. Because why do you jog? Because it's just a hobby or a sport, or is it like your personal?
For me, it's just a hobby. It's just kind of personal. Just keep my fitness level up, stuff like that.
Cool. And you got all the good spots to do that in. Do you have any other questions for me before we continue?
I have some other questions, but yeah, either way, we can just kind of go back and forth.
Okay. Well, let me ask you one more. So the big ones were, did you poop your pants and did you throw rocks? Because I put out that I was going to talk to you on my Facebook, and I have a pretty busy Facebook, and I had a lot of friends that had questions for you. And so all these questions I'm asking you are from my friends. Like I didn't even think of any of these questions. I just like copied down what they said because I want to give the people what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, so going forward, so like you got this huge platform to talk about mountain lions, and you, before we even made contact, you already reached out to some mountain lion experts, or nonprofits that work with mountain lions. Why did you do that, and who were they?
So yeah, I originally started kind of bogging my head of like, how do I want to take this experience and turn it into something good?
Good for you.
I've always been kind of like to do those types of things. And so, yeah, one of my first thought was like, hey, let's go talk to the Mountain Lion Foundation. Let's go talk to the Conservancy, the Mountain Lion Conservancy, and see what we can do to help them out as well, right? I mean, this video obviously has shown a lot of people things that they've never seen.
Oh, yeah. Showed a lot of biologists what they've never seen.
Exactly. And so I'm glad the video has gone out there and has helped people understand kind of like what the mountain lion does when it is protecting its cubs, and hopefully help people get a better knowledge of mountain lions. Yeah. Instead of being like scared of them, understanding them.
And you know what? You did everything right, and even more so than I originally thought, because I listened to a couple biologists who've been studying mountain lions for decades. I listened to them comment on your video. And one of them pointed out that we always tell people to stand your ground when mountain lions come up, and to be big and to be loud, and don't bend down and pick up a rock unless there's two of you, like the person in the front can stay big and the person behind could go real fast and pick up a rock. But we usually tell people to stand their ground. But this, some of the experts are saying right now that you did the exact right thing in this circumstance, because this wasn't just a hunting mountain lion. This wasn't a hunting mountain lion at all. This was a mom trying to get you away from her babies. So by backing up slowly and maintaining face-to-face contact, that you did the exact right thing. So was that instinctual, or did you know that already?
Well, growing up here in Utah, I went to the Boy Scouts when I was a kid. And during Boy Scouts, that's normally what they kind of teach you is to stay big and keep your eyes on what's trying to attack you. And for me personally, I like to see what's going to attack me as well. So, I mean, if it's a person or an animal, I like to see what's coming towards me.
Yeah, you don't want to give them the blind sucker punch opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for Boy Scouts. Awesome. Like, it takes 5 to 10 minutes to give that kind of information, and that really helped you out a lot. So thank you, Boy Scouts. That's really awesome. Let me look at some of my friends' questions here again. Have you been jogging since? Yes, you have. So what is something like, what would you like to come out? Like, you didn't choose this, you didn't pick this, you've been thrown into this huge platform. and endured tons of criticism, which happens whenever you get viral. Every single person who's gone viral like has to endure all this armchair criticism of people who
Oh yeah,
I would have done something far more cool or whatever, And so like
exactly.
yeah, you just gotta
They would
kind
have
of
just hovered away. That's what they would have done.
yeah, totally. I would have used my X-Men powers, but it's like that. So you got a lot of criticism initially. I think people are starting to realize that you actually did the right thing. But what ultimately, and we've kind of hinted around this a little bit, but what ultimately in 5 years from now, after this experience, what would you like your contribution to be to this conversation? Like, what would you like to see come as a result of this experience? It's like, and I'm going to just, before you answer that question, I'm just going to say that was a near-death experience, because at the time, I'm sure you thought you were going to die, because I thought you were going to die when I first saw that, So it's like, when it first happened, I was like, oh, he's dead. But that was a near-death experience in a lot of, senses of the word. So what do you hope comes about because of this video in 5 years?
Well, hopefully it doesn't end. Hopefully we can keep this going and people can actually realize that, yeah, the wildlife needs help. We need to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, yeah, biologists and stuff like that can continue to learn from this video. I think it's something that's great. I'm glad they can benefit from it. And hopefully with this happening, yeah, I mean, I can also benefit from it by hopefully maybe learning more about mountain lions. I think it's kind of intrigued me a little bit more just because I have had this whole situation happen to me. And
they chose you, brother. That was like they chose you. when something like, when you have a very rare encounter like that, like you should definitely see that as a calling that you need to speak for the mountain lions. So I hope that you are going to look in there, and thanks for reaching out to Mountain Lion Foundation and Cougar Conservancy. Are you planning on maybe doing some educational stuff in the future where you can help people understand what to do with mountain lions and maybe learn more about the mountain lions in your area?
I sure hope so. I think that's what my next step might be, is to learn more about kind of the wildlife in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree that, yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't have that much knowledge on wildlife in the Utah area. I know
Mm-hmm.
the wildlife exists, but I don't know probably what I should have known.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people are going to start asking you like you're an expert. Like, since you almost got killed by a mountain lion, you must know all about them now.
Yeah.
So
Not an expert at all.
well, you can work towards that, and I think it would be fun, to follow you and to follow your journey of like what's going to happen to you now, because you're just a regular guy doing your regular thing, and then all of a sudden you have this experience, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that affects you over time, especially with the great attitude you have and the willingness to help educate people about mountain lions. And thank you so much for that, because a lot of us wildlife conservationists, like we're always fighting people vilifying mountain lions. In fact, this weekend coming up here, next weekend, is P22 days, Urban Wildlife Week. And I'm actually already got recorded to speak about this like 2 weeks ago. But people can go to, what's it called? I'm going to tell you because it would be good if you saw that too, because P22 is a mountain lion that lives in Griffith Park. And that's a very urban park in LA, surrounded by people. And he's been there for years and no one's gotten attacked yet. And hopefully never will. I wish I would have said yet. Hopefully it never happens. And I think that as long as everybody knows what to do, P22 is a male, he's never going to be defending babies. So you definitely want to stand there, make yourself look big and scream. But so far he's visited people's houses and stuff. And the worst thing is he killed a koala in the zoo. But that was the worst. I mean, if that's the worst, that's not too bad. Poor koala. But so that's p22wonderland.org for those of you watching, p22wonderland.org. And that is going to be, it's free. And that is going to be, and you can pre-register for it at p22wonderland.org. And it's on October 24th. So it's a good opportunity for you too to learn about mountain lions. Beth Pratt from National Wildlife Federation will be speaking quite a bit. And she is an expert and a scientist. So did you have any questions for me? You said you
Yeah,
had a couple.
one of the questions I kind of had for you too is like, should the people around in this area in Utah now, should they be scared of another like cougar coming and trying to attack them?
Because in that area, you
Yeah.
know, is that BLM land? Whose land? Do you know whose land that is?
I that's a
Parkland. It's a good question.
I want to say it's BLM.
So I bet you it is, because I think BLM has a bunch of land in Utah.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully they're closing that down for a while so her and her kittens could relax, because I'm sure, you know, it's almost like she was already traumatized. That was a big reaction for Mountain Lion. A lot of the experts were surprised at how pissed she was at you.
Yeah.
I hopefully they maybe close that trail for a little while. No, you know, those mountain lions have always been there. You know, mountain lions are all around us. Where I live, there's mountain lions everywhere. And they have big territories. So if you see them, you know, repeatedly in an area, it's probably the same one. You just keep seeing it. So they have pretty big territories, but no, they've always been there. And you just got lucky, man. You just got the lucky experience. But I think that people need to be aware that running with a partner is a good idea. A lot of people don't want to, though, because running is kind of a meditation for them. So if you're like that, and I would take bear spray or an air horn, and I wouldn't wear earphones when I was jogging. I'd make sure I could hear. I see people running with earphones in our park, and I'm like, you shouldn't do that. Like, because you want all your senses on alert when you know you're in mountain lion country. But you know, when I'm in mountain lion country, Kyle, keep it real, I'm not afraid of mountain lions. I'm afraid of creepy people. Like, humans are way scarier. You're like, you'll get attacked by 1,000 people before you get attacked by one mountain lion, maybe 10,000. So, you know, a lot of times if I have bear spray on me, it's not for mountain lions, you know.
There you go.
So I think everybody's all right. But then again, I would definitely check with the local officials and local rangers, BLM rangers, and see what they say.
Perfect.
But, do you have any other questions for me?
Yeah, I think that's all the questions I kind of had for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the last question is, did you see the parody on your video with the woman cougar?
Oh yeah, the rawr.
Did you love that?
Oh, it's so funny. So funny.
Yeah. Where's your kids? They're in college. Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Well, thanks for bringing so much intrigue to so many millions of people.
Oh, for sure.
Super glad that you're okay, dude. And I'm very, very happy that Mama Mountain Lion and her babies are okay. And I hope that no one ever hurts.
Oh, me too.
And you know, thanks for reaching out, and thanks for thinking about Cougar Conservancy. And like, I want to follow you. I know other people want to follow you because you're a good guy, and I can see that this story is not over. This is going to be unfolding. So how can we follow you?
So you got my Instagram, which is the Kung Kyle. If you haven't followed me already, it's KUNKYLE.
Okay.
And that's where the original video was posted on my Instagram, and that is explicit, so just be aware.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you have Facebook, and as well as my website that is going up, which is IamTheCougarGuy.com.
IamTheCougarGuy.com. That is awesome, because that's how when I told people I was talking to you, I was like, I'm talking to the Cougar Guy, and they're all like, really? And they knew exactly who you were.
It just fit. I thought it fit, so I just went with it. And then on that website, I will have some T-shirts, and I will be donating some of the profits of the T-shirts to the Mountain Lion Foundation.
Oh, cool. And Cougar Conservancy, or just Mountain Lion Foundation?
Yeah, both. I know I've been emailing both of them back and forth.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. I know the people in both those organizations are really appreciative, because those are tireless, hardworking advocates for mountain lions, and they're probably just like, thank God. Dude, I don't want this to sound weird, but I'm glad that mountain lion attacked you and not someone else. I really am. So
yeah, it was a crazy experience. I'm glad it happened too. I'm glad we both went out of it unscathed as well.
Yeah, you did everything right, man. Thank you so much. And check out IamTheCougarGuy.com. His website's going up pretty soon. And if you check out his merchandise, you get to support Mountain Lion Foundation, or you could go directly to their organization, which is mountainlion.org, and Cougar Conservancies is cougarconservancy.org. And I know people at both of those organizations, and they're awesome. So thank you very much, Kyle.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Thanks
All
for
right.
talking to me.
Cool. Talk to you later. So let's